Hello, and welcome to Curriculum Connections, the latest edition in the Humane Education Coalition's video series. My name is Karen Patterson, and I'm a board member for the Humane Education Coalition, as well as the Vice President of Volunteers and Humane Education for the Humane Society of Huron Valley in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Between my current position and my former role as a classroom teacher, I have enjoyed teaching about humane education topics for almost 20 years, and am excited to be able to share some effective strategies with you today.
My name is Jessie Hitt, and I am the Humane Education Manager for the Humane Society of Huron Valley. In my 6 years at the Humane Society of Huron Valley, I have worked in rescue, adoptions, and finally education. I believe that my experience working in all of these departments has given me a well-rounded knowledge and understanding of working with the people and animals in our community. Today we are going to share with you some strategies that we use to connect social justice and environmental ethics into an animal welfare curriculum. We will talk about the value of incorporating these topics in a humane education program in two main ways: the lessons and activities that you deliver to learners, and how you model your message in the materials you use and groups you partner with. We will offer examples of what this looks like in action and share ideas on how you can ensure that your humane education program is modeling the message that you deliver to your audience. Since humane education works to build empathy and compassion for all, for the purpose of this presentation, when we use the term comprehensive in relation to humane education programs, we will be referring to a program whose lessons and activities include social justice issues, environmental ethics, and animal welfare topics. Although we will be specifically speaking about how this applies to those working in animal welfare, many of the strategies and concepts can be applied to educators, both formal and informal, in many fields of work.
Did you know that there are approximately 1.5 million nonprofit organizations in the United States alone? When you combine that with the many amazing groups and people working to make the world a better place in other countries as well, that equals a lot of effort and positive impact for social change. Now imagine that all of those organizations and groups were not only educating about their area of focus, for us at the Humane Society that would be animals, but also how their mission relates to the care and well-being of all humans, all animals, and the environment. Our collective impact would surely increase, and as stated by the Humane Education Coalition, would allow us to achieve groundbreaking education initiatives. At the Humane Society of Huron Valley, we have found great benefit in connecting our curriculum to social justice and environmental preservation topics. Implementing a comprehensive program begins with the way in which you interact with your audience. Because each learner is unique, understanding their perspective and using humane communication will help ensure maximum engagement in the lesson. To begin, simply knowing their general ages and other basic demographics can help in determining what content may be appropriate. Accessing prior knowledge, or what your learners already know about a topic, before beginning a lesson can also give you some insight into the beliefs and attitudes that they may have. It may also help you determine what adjustments need to be made to your lesson to ensure that it is valuable and meaningful to the majority of your audience. For example, if you're about to present a lesson on alternatives to animal testing and you discover several of your students have family members who work in a local animal research facility prior to the start of your lesson, you would be much more prepared with adjustments you may need to make to ensure your lesson is sensitive to their backgrounds, yet still engages the group in an open and safe discussion on the topic. As educators, we know that every learner can be empowered to create change, and taking the time to get to know your audience is a great step towards delivering a meaningful lesson. While planning the content of an animal welfare lesson, designing it in a way that provides students the opportunity to draw connections between the topic and the well-being of humans, other animals, and our environment is important. To accomplish this, we create lessons and activities that encourage critical thinking and guide students with questioning techniques. We also provide information on various perspectives of topics to help them begin to see and respect different viewpoints. Let's think about how this all might apply to a lesson on a topic that's common in the animal welfare field: animals used in entertainment. To get to know your audience, you might begin by learning more about the ages and general demographics of the group you'll be working with. At the start of your lesson, you could ask the audience questions that will give some insight on what experiences students have had with animals in an entertainment setting, as well as what some of their attitudes and beliefs may be regarding your topic. For the content of your lesson, you may share information on the experiences many animals have in these situations, as well as discuss the ways in which they must suffer or be exploited. To help students think of the impact on the environment, you might ask students to think about the ways in which animals are transported to entertainment venues, how that impacts air and water systems, and where the animals come from. Sharing the story of a person who's worked with an exotic animal in an entertainment setting may help students to draw connections to how using animals in entertainment can impact people. Of course, the depth and content you discuss in each of these areas will be determined by what is appropriate and relevant for your audience. One lesson we enjoy teaching in our youth programs is called Blue Planet. In this lesson, youth analyze either their own lunch packaging or packaging that a teacher provides. Participants think critically about what happened to get this material in their lunchbox, as well as what may happen when they're done using it. They examine the impact it has on humans, animals, and the care of our environment. Finally, they use problem-solving skills to find, design, or create new packaging for products that will help to create a more peaceful, sustainable life for all. After presenting an issue in a comprehensive way, we find that participants are not only able to draw more connections, but are also encouraged to think critically about how to make alternative choices that align with their morals and values. Presenting various aspects of an issue can strengthen your message, help us all work collectively, and therefore empower even more people to make positive changes in their daily lives.
Now that we've shared some ideas on how to include social justice and environmental preservation into lessons and activities, we're going to talk about strategies we use to ensure our program is delivered in a way that models the concepts we are teaching. In our day-to-day work, we are thoughtful about using humane language, books that deliver humane themes, ethically sourced materials, as well as working with community partners who share our organization's philosophies. We work to ensure that any new component added to our Humane Education program aligns with our mission and values as a department and an organization as a whole. For information on humane communication and humane books, I invite you to check out the videos on these topics at hecoalition.org/videos. Today I will share a little more about working with community partners and choosing materials for your programs. Working with partner groups and organizations from your community is a great way to grow your program and expand your reach as an organization. We work with community partners frequently and often invite them to be guest speakers for our summer camp, continuing education, or other purposes. While we love working with community partners, we also want to be careful that the message they will deliver is one that aligns with our values as an organization. When considering speakers, we research and sometimes interview the organization or group they represent. We ensure that we are comfortable with their practices and beliefs regarding their care of humans, animals, and the environment. Another precaution we have found helpful is to preview the material in which they plan to present prior to having them work with learners. This allows us the opportunity to provide feedback, design follow-up activities for learners, plan a guided discussion with our audience, or in some cases, choose another community partner to work with that will more closely align with our mission. One example of a great community partner that we have worked with is a local rabbit rescue. They have been a part of many of our programs to help educate our staff, volunteers, and program participants on rabbit care and handling. When we initially started getting to know them, we enjoyed doing a site visit to their location, talking with staff and volunteers about various aspects of the care of their rabbits, and learning more about the organization's overall mission and operations. They have been a great partner to work with, and we have experienced a wonderful, mutually beneficial partnership with them. We all use materials to deliver lessons and activities, but with so many options and limited funding available for many organizations, how can you ensure that the materials you use are helping to model what you are teaching? When discussing adding new materials to our program, we consider a few guiding questions before acquiring them. What value will the material add? How will the material be used? What will happen to the material after the lesson? Can we source it ethically and sustainably? We find it helpful to use these questions to determine whether or not an item really needs to be purchased. If so, we think about how we can source the material in the most sustainable way. This could mean ensuring fair and ethical labor practices were used during the production, that the item is made from recycled or sustainable materials, and looking for options to source the item locally. Unfortunately, answers to these questions are not always found on the packaging of the items. However, most companies are happy to share this information with you if you reach out by phone or email. In an effort to stay conscious of our own use of materials, one change we made at HSHV was to reduce the number of extraneous crafts we were making in our children's programs. Instead of making items that the kids take home, we focus most of our art projects on items that can be made for animals here at the shelter. Our participants have really loved making items such as kitty forts from recycled boxes and paper, bird window deflectors from old CDs, and dog bandanas from scrap material that was donated. For daily use materials, such as pencils, brochures, and handouts, finding companies that use recycled materials or thinking of ways to use electronic sources are all great ways to help model your message. We know that working collectively to engage learners in finding solutions to the challenges facing our planet has a great impact. While some of what we discussed today may be new, there are some wonderful resources out there to help you learn more. Many of the Humane Education Coalition's partner organizations, including HEART, Academy of Pro-Social Learning, TeachKind, and the Institute for Humane Education, are all great places to get support and ask questions. We would love to hear from you as well. Please feel free to contact either of us, as we are always happy to help in any way we can. Thank you so much for joining us today and being part of the Humane Education Coalition.